behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. Got another great interview coming up for you in just a moment or so. But don't forget, there's that subscribe and bell, so if you haven't clicked them both on YouTube, go ahead and do that. And we'll always notify you of any new episodes coming your way. And if you'd like, you can leave a comment on the comments section. We'd love to hear from you. And check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/PalmMashTV. And you can follow us there, inboxes, comment the things you see there. And also, if you want to email us, it's palmmashtv, all one word, @gmail.com. And if you're a band or a solo artist and want to be on the show, you can use that, and we'll tell you how to do that. But it's also good for fans. If you're just simply a fan of the show and want to talk to us about what you like, we can respond to you there. And all this is going to be recapped at the closing credits at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. From Honolulu, Hawaii today, we have Koko Charli, a very awesome artist, and I know you're going to agree with that. And we're going to get to that in just a second, because it starts right now. Okay, here we are, and from Honolulu, Hawaii today, we have Koko Charli. Thanks for joining us, Koko.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad to have you here today. Well, we'll start off by the usual question I'd like to ask. Tell everybody a little bit about how you got into the music business, because, you know, everybody has their own start.
Yeah. Well, I grew up here in Honolulu, Hawaii, and ever since I was 8 years old, I believe that's when I first began my vocal journey. My mom enrolled me in voice lessons because I was singing all these Tony Braxton songs on the radio, and she was like, "Hey, you wanna learn how to sing?" And I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, since then I've been performing. So after when I turned 17, I moved to the mainland. I went to college. I did a lot of singing in college. I got a women's chorus scholarship. And then after that, I moved to LA. I did children's musical theater, performances, stuff like that. And then I went to New York. So I've kind of been all over the place. I get a little restless and I like to move around, go on new adventures. And when I moved to New York, then I started performing for Healing Arts Initiative, which is a company that puts bands and musicians together. And then we go out to different areas, such as like old folks' homes, hospitals, stuff like that. So I started performing with them. And then I also was doing my own thing on the side, performing for like art gallery openings and little events here and there. And then my most exciting moment was when, not too long after that, I moved to Korea, South Korea. I got a job there as a professional singer, dancer, and actress. And that was like, it was an amazing experience. It definitely like life-changing. And so I lived there for a year and a half, learned some Korean, did a lot of singing, did a lot of dancing, performances. It was exhausting, but it was so worth it. And so then after that, that was like the last place that I really traveled to and lived in before I moved back home. So now I've been back here for about 5 years already. That's a long time. I usually don't stay in a place that long. I usually travel around and, you know, go to the next gig, next adventure. But yeah, I've been back here for about 5.5 years. And what I started doing what I did in Korea, in addition to all the singing and acting and dancing and rehearsing, is I helped produce music for our shows. So we would do original shows, original scripts. I helped write the scripts as well. But I really got into the music production. We had like our own little music studio on the campus. So I started using Logic, which is a great program for professional music editing and production. And that kind of like launched me into the mode where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna produce my own music. I'm gonna write my own stuff. I've worked with different producers. Like when I was in New York, I did a lot of EDM music with a producer named Run Joe Run. he was awesome, and we did a few music videos together. And then after that, yeah, so then I was like, I'm gonna do my own thing. And there were a lot of times where I met up with different producers, and the production wasn't exactly what I had envisioned, or they were a little flaky. Just it's hard to rely on other people for something that's so precious to you. And I decided, yeah, like, I love my music. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna learn full on like editing, producer mode. So, and then Korea helped me begin that, because it kind of launched me into getting used to working in music software. So yeah, so I started production on my first EP album, which is called Nation of Halusa. It's kind of a play on words of hallucination. So there's a lot of like mental health themes throughout my album. There's about, I think, 7 songs, 7 tracks, and I wrote it all myself, recorded. I have my own home studio, produced it, engineered it, blah, 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 all that crazy detailed tech work. So it took a while, but I finally released it several months ago, the end of March. I had like an album release party, which is really successful and everything like that. And then, so I just want to let you know where you can find my album. It's up on all not the softwares. It's up on all the platforms. So it's on Apple Music, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Pandora, pretty much all the platforms. I tried to get it out there. So that's where people can listen to it. And I'm excited. I have plans for the future with this album. There's a little local award ceremony where you can like submit original works of art, music, and stuff like that. So I'm going to be applying to that in January. And then in the meantime, yeah, I have all this merchandise that I'll get into shortly. And then I also started production on my upcoming album, which is TBA. We don't have a title yet for the album, but I've already started production on 3 songs, and I have a lot more ideas and a lot more songs in my head. I'm kind of like a music machine. It just doesn't stop. And I write songs in my sleep too sometimes, and I'll wake up and then I'll like record it on my phone. So yeah, constantly just music always in my head. So yeah, there's lots to look forward to, and I'm going to be producing a lot more music.
Okay, well, that's quite a story there. You mentioned Tony Braxton. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that she's a person that influenced you growing up. Were there any other?
Yeah, it was this moment that is like tattooed in my memory. I was in my mom's car. I was a kid. I was in the back seat, and yeah, this is the 90s. And Tony Braxton was playing on the radio, and yeah, I liked her music. It was catchy, and and I knew the lyrics, and I was just a kid singing in the back seat. But my mom turned around during, like, we stopped at a light. She turned around and she's like, "Huh, you're not bad." I'm like, "Thanks, Mom. Do you want to take voice lessons?" And that's what kind of launched it, So yeah, I have Tony Braxton to thank for that, and I do sing her songs at karaoke. I admit that still today. So yeah.
Were there any other influences besides Tony Braxton?
Oh my goodness, yes, definitely. Yeah, I was a major 90s kid, so Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. When I was taking voice lessons and I was growing up, those are like the artists that I really admired, and the songs that I would sing. I Turn to You by Christina Aguilera, Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, and I was fortunate that I had a great voice instructor. Her name is Tina Passmore. She was awesome. Yeah, and then she taught me, and through her, I got involved in a dance company, Paradise Studio, and started performing with them. Yeah, so really 90s. Jewel singing, Jewel, all those like 90s artists, they were like my top pick when I was growing up. A little bit of Gloria Estefan, some Madonna in there.
Okay, well, that's good. And you mentioned your streaming things, where you can get your music earlier. And I want to invite everybody out there to get her music. I know she would really love you for that. So
Oh yeah,
we'll
definitely.
go out there right now and do that. And we're getting ready to play your song in just a minute. I do believe it's called Under Your Spell.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that song. It sounds self-explanatory, but tell us in your own words.
So this was when I lived in New York and I was working with the EDM producer, Run Joe Run. And it was such a good deal that we had, or such a good we just worked so well together. And he would send me, he wrote like the instrumental, and he did all the engineering and production. He would send me the track. I would listen to it. I would sit in Central Park and I would write the lyrics and the melody. And so one such song that he sent, I ended up titling it Under My Spell. So it had like a Halloween vibe to me, and EDM kind of bewitching melody. And so, yeah, I turned it into like a Halloween music video. So I wrote the lyrics and the melody, and I helped direct the music video as well. I did a whole storyboard and everything. I did a lot of the casting, choreography, rehearsals, costumes, all this stuff. So like that was kind of one of my biggest projects that I've ever done. And that was released when I lived in New York. And yeah, since then my genre is a little different. I do more kind of pop, dark pop, as I like to call it, but I still dabble in all sorts of different things like EDM, jazz, soul. Yeah, so go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay, well, and it's a great song too, by the way. And I guess we're going to play that song in just a moment, but thank you so much, Koko, for being on the show. Maybe when maybe come back sometime and plug something new if you ever want to come back.
Absolutely. And if you ever want some merchandise, we got custom hats here with my lipstick printed on it, so you always feel a little Koko love. This is available. You can contact me through my website, www.kokocharli.com, and that's Koko with a K and Charlie with no E.
Okay. All right, get out there today to that website, get some of our merchandise. I know she would love you for that as well. And so let's go ahead and start the video, and it starts right now.
Darker than smoke.